Morning Coffee with Rion. Here I have your dimensional template for Earth. Brought to you by Team Light. Team Light. Go ahead and get a piece of paper. I can't see the screen. The phone is rotated, but I'm staring at the back of it with the best intentions for you. Check this out. Go ahead and get an 8x11 piece of paper and turn it vertical. And I'm gonna start breaking this down for you guys. You guys let me know. We have a live audience here today. Here in Sedona. They can verify I just woke up when I grabbed coffee. So, all right. I'm excited to break this down for you. So my guides have been basically like telling me you have to make this video. You actually, you know, it's a good ordinance. Mind you, this is my perspective. This is what my higher selves taught me. This is not from a book. This is not from anything I've learned on this planet other than listening to my higher selves and interacting on multiple galactic activations around this planet for the last decade. So what I'm about to share with you, I don't know at what level of clearance you need to learn this stuff. I'm just gonna drop it like a top for you, you know? So, some of the stuff I know how to do, they're like, shh, you can't say that! And I'm like, but that's true. They're not supposed to know. So, you guys go ahead and say what up from Sedona. Go ahead and punch in where you guys are saying what up from. Hello, hello, hello. And when you guys are ready, I'll give you guys, what, another minute or so? And you guys can write as I go through this. But let me get some thumbs up when you guys are ready for me to rip this. And I will ask the beautiful Sedonians here when we're good to go. Yes? Okay. Let me know. Are they ready to go?
Lots of hearts and thumbs up.
Alright. Now, some may consider this borderline cheating. I, however, feel like I am your substitute teacher, and I'm just stepping in real quick to drop it like it's hot that I'm going to exit. Okay, here we go. How's the audio? We good on the audio? Not too loud? Is it a little loud?
No one's saying anything.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, here we go. Alright, let's start off on this. Draw a huge V on the piece of paper. For many of you guys who've had sessions with me and I'm breaking down your dimensional selves, this will be very familiar to you. But seeing it in this grand scope of actually how I learned the dimensions and the species that exist in each dimension, right? And actually how that interacts with, that's you down here. Let's start here. 3D me. It's you. It's me. Physical. Fantastic. Alright, now check this out. Everything on your left side of your body is your light side. Okay? Everything on the right hand side of your body is your night side. Gonna be clear, again, this is my perspective of how I was taught. Most human beings, their heart is on their left. Can we agree? Fantastic. Alright. 3D me. So, on the bottom right, let's just go through the dimensions. So 1D, elements, elementals, elements, mineral kingdom. 2D, we have, you know, some of the animal kingdom, some of the insect kingdom, and some. Okay, what does that mean? Well, I'm also going to break down this. You guys, there's about 28 to, I don't want to get too crazy down here. Most people are just like, we're humans. There's about 28 plus different species or hybrid programs going on Earth. Okay, so check this out. I'm only going to talk really about the big 12. Okay, because I feel that's most where our galactic family is kind of working with. Now, there are some very specific races that exist and very special ones. Hence, if you have a higher self from Alpha Centauri, welcome. But what I'm trying to say is this. Some of these different races I'm going to give you, it does not mean they are only particular in that dimensional space. In my experience, I find the majority of these specific species. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. So 4D is your lowest night form. You could have some reptilian dudes. When I was in vampires, the werewolf, the night creatures. So if your energy, and you basically have to make it in 4D, and say you're in like downtown the Bronx, you can't walk around like a unicorn shooting Skittles, right? You're gonna, you got to kind of, be aware of your environment and kind of cloak or act like you are in that specific polarity. So all I'm trying to say is that reptilians go much higher than 6D, 8D, or 10D, but what I'm trying to express is majority of the ones we have locally, downstairs, in 3D, on Earth, we're going to find a lot of those guys in 4D. Okay. When I was I'm also going to mix some real life experiences with you, I know this to be true. When I was in Glastonbury working about 3 years ago over in England, I saw tons of vampires and all kinds of night creatures running across the rooftops. It looks like Hogwarts. If you guys don't, Hogwarts type level. If you guys go into the forest in Hogwarts, out there where there's different types of creatures, let's just call that 4D, okay? There's also 4D nightclub action in LA, but we'll save that for later. Now, your 5D is your lowest light form, your energy body, your lowest light form, 5D, okay? I'm going to explain some of these realms like we're going to different theme parks on Earth. I'm not going to point fingers. I'm going to go, because here's the thing. Sometimes we incarnate here, and, sometimes you can or can't choose that deck of cards you incarnate with. Sometimes it's very powerful beings that have amazing DNA, but if you think about it, the more powerful you are, the more karma you can create really quickly. So Egypt, Lemuria, Atlantis, you put the wrong power in the wrong being's hands, and they're in the wrong mood for 20 seconds, problem. So I'm just trying to say there's higher levels. I'm trying to help you guys out with this processing about some of this stuff as you come more into your knowingness. I can track my life from 3D all the way to this guy. My highest light, 24D. Now, does that mean I know every single thing about them? No, but I know every single one of their jobs. My 4D, my 5D, my 6D, my 7D, my 8D, my 9D. I know their names, their jobs, what ship they are on, how much longer I have to be down here in this suit. I'm just kidding. Who I can call for a favor on the night side, and who I can call for some reprieve on the light side. So I'm trying to express this is my very personal homework assignment for you guys. I'm sharing this with you because I think many of you guys are ready for this level of interaction, and I'm trying to fill in some holes on why things are the way they are and how some of the things work behind the scenes on this planet. So I don't know as far as disclosure is concerned, but to give you a little heads up, 6D or 6 density, right? This functionality is the level of the blue avians that Corey Good talks to. Okay. Look how many levels are above that functionality. But to be true to the word, check this out. That 6D blue avian being that Corey talks to, that doesn't mean it's a 6D being. Mind you, that's as low as that high frequency being can compress to even interact. That might be a much huge higher galactic universal being that is collapsing and compressing himself all the way down. Let me talk to Corey. So I just kind of, again, there's many different versions of this story. I'm just trying to express some of my interactions and what I've learned thus far in this incarnation. Okay, so I think that was a good enough of like a bubble of experience. I'm trying to okay, I love you all. Remember that? Love Corey, Emery, Wilcock, you guys are awesome. Now, when I woke up 9 years ago, it was my 8D Anunnaki who woke up, and the first guy I saw on my couch, about 8-9 feet tall, in an admiral's outfit, this guy. I can't tell you all their names because if you guys know why your higher selves don't give you their names, it's because you can summon them at any given point in time. So why you guys go, hey, higher self, what's your name? Tell me your name. And why they're like, nah, bro, or like, I don't know, call me the pink ray of the angelic rose. I'm like, no, bro, what's your name? It's because you can summon them to you and they have to show up. So, real talk. Okay, moving on. Not everyone's Archangel Michael. Okay? Not everyone's Raphael. Okay? You know your higher self specific names. It's like roll call. You're like, yo, bro, get open here. Okay. So this is fun. Okay, here we go. So everything on your right hand side, I know it's kind of confusing. I'm just saying, is this the right on the camera? Okay. Right side's night side, does not mean bad. Okay? So I'm just trying to say, Left side's light side, your heart's in your left. So at the very top of this list, I have highest light on top of the left-hand line. On the top of the right-hand line, you have highest night. Okay? Makes it kind of even. No one's arguing. You know what I mean? All right. On the left-hand side, all the dudes on the left, we call those guys Earth Alliance. All those guys on the right, we call those guys Federation. Okay? These are the guys I'm constantly bumping heads with. Some things shouldn't be mixed. Get to that later. Okay. Lyran Empire. Left-hand side. All my fellow Lyrans out there. By the way, it's not just Lyran Empire, to be fair. Okay? But there has to be something that's awesome as the Orion Empire, which is where basically some of my night dudes come from. And when I actually learned about this galaxy and this solar system and like what the Orion Empire like is the landlord of, it may break some belief systems on this world. So imagine like, say the Lyran Empire and the Orion Empire. I got it, I'll be delicate. They're like, don't do it. Trying to say this to you in a very casual way. Basically, these two empires, this is called, by the way, empire is not the right word, that's a human vocabulary term. So, the Lyran expanse, the Orion expanse, may be a better word, okay, are different sectors that they oversee. Okay? What I'm trying to express is that there's different flavors in polarity that both of these guys have learned to grow with, learned what works, and have more similarities than differences, and we'll get into that later with a little Elon Musk wisdom on which guys played with a little bit too much AI functionality, which ones were like, nah, we're gonna stick to the spiritual growth flavor. Now, in different situations, through different periods in time, and different bandwidths and species and interactions, people do things for their people based upon the knowledge they have at that time. So, in your life, if you had the wisdom you had now, would you have gotten in that car, for example, when your friend was drunk and driving at 19, 20 years old? Probably not. You'd have been like, Uber, you know, somebody get this guy's keys. Well, with our species and our galactic family, it's also to understand, to get to unconditional love, I'm just trying to express this to you, it's very important, to grow up and be the jolly green giant in the field of Smurfs, you have to understand the data and knowledge necessary to actually balance this stack going vertically. Is that a good bumper sticker? Are we good? Put that on a bumper sticker. Moving on. But it's so complicated! Right. Who's your teacher? Shh. Getting to the next level here. Alright. 4D, 5D. Okay, so 4D, lowest night form, top of the right, highest night. So highest night, lowest night, right hand side. On the left hand side, highest light, lowest light, 5D. Okay, now 5D for humans is graduation. Yay! Heaven is a place on earth. Some love comes first. Okay. You made heaven a place on earth. For all my fellow Guardians out there watching from ship, holla at your boy. Alright, so 5D equals graduation. Cannot wait to go there. All I do is fly around all day. It's very awesome, heroic, and awesome. You would go there and go, why would I ever want to go back here? It looks like this place is some sort of C-minded sci-fi film, but I love you very much so. But the 5D is where it's at, okay? Turn down a little bit.
No.
Light.
Focusing.
Getting a little focus. Tap
Oh.
on him.
Tap on the focus.
On the screen. Okay.
Is that better?
Mejor.
This is more important than I.
Keep crushing. It's fuzzy again. Okay.
Better?
Just reading the people.
By the way, this is a team effort here. This is a global hug for all my family. That's all this is. Now, I can't tell you how many jackasses I had to fight on this planet to get this. Or how many dungeons I had to clear to get this. So just, for all you guys, I don't want you to have to go through walking through dungeons in real life, you know, like an MMO but real, or running from federales when you're breaking into a temple. I don't want you to go through that. But I want you to get this. This is my experience I ascertained. Okay, moving on. So, 3D, 4D, 5D is graduation. So you see these little lines right here? These little lines, these little arrows are called my integration. So, 3D, here's your middle, let's call it your silver cord, right here. Your silver cord, your connection to all of your fellow balloon animals, known as your higher selves. I was, interacting with you. This is my favorite balloon animal right here. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, get serious. Okay, all these little arrows are integration. So what does that mean? If you can integrate your 4D into your 3D, next level. You integrate your 5D into your center, right? Into your 3D, graduation. That means this 3D vessel is now operating in a 5D system format. Now, for some of us who come from way much higher upstairs, where our people hold us in a higher esteem because we should do more, you might actually have to integrate a 7D and a 6D, right, into your soul stream and integrate this from 7, 6, 5, 4, and then you in 3 to actually graduate with those flying colors. I know that to be true because I know some of us actually, especially the God Squad, the 144, for you guys in those Council of 12 meetings, they expect a 7D down to 3D. They're not going to say that to your face, but I've been behind the scenes. That's the goal. You can do it! Okay. Alright. Let's talk about the different races and which dimensions they hang out in. So let's make this real simple. Density, dimension. I've been going back and forth with the 3D dimensional, but also the density. When I asked this question this morning, after I wrote this, mind you, and after they actually added this, Inner Earth and Char actually rock between a 4 to 12D dimensional understanding and a 4 density understanding. Okay? 5th density, 6th density. Well, the whole issue is that this is a platform of energy, frequency, and density. As you go up in bandwidth, what's happening? Light equals data. So, in a holographic matrix, which we're living in, this density or this physical plane, like for example, my biological eyeballs are only programmed to see a certain bandwidth of colors. For example, does infrared light exist? Yes. Can you see with your naked eye? No. Does ultraviolet light exist? Yes. Can you see with your biological eyeballs? No.
Yes.
Yes, but shh. That comes after the activation. Now, your third eye allows you to see all these other spectrums of light that exist in this platform. Drop the mic, period. So, what I'm getting to is this. As you come up in bandwidth, your audio and video or data structure doubles, triples, quadruples exponentially per dimensional level you go up based on the data or the access to light that you have in the structure. So for example, say 3D is 480p. Oh, let's make it simple. 3D 720p. 4D is 1080p. 5D is 4K. 6D is 8K. 7D is like 16K. Okay? What am I getting to? Every single dimension or bandwidth you go up, the data speed or transfer rate is that much faster. You get to see all these other colors that you don't get to get down here. Audio, you hear the angels singing. It's pretty cool. Lots of cool stuff like that. Okay, so. More fuzzy?
No, it's too
Pop and lock. Okay. You guys, are they having a good time? I can't see the screen. Okay. Alright, so 5D, Palladian land. 6D, Syrian land. Most of my homies down here are from Sirius A, but there are a lot of amazing beings from Sirius B. Sirius B is more the militaristic functionality, which serves the Orion Empire. Okay? They're still really cool. If you guys like Clone Wars, just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. Take your master down. Anyways, for all my guys going against their superiors, you know how it feels. Going to go ahead and say love the Syrians. Okay. Yeshua, by the way, my favorite, Jesus, also known as Jesus, Yeshua, Syrian stud. Yeshua, Syrian stud. You heard it here first. The coolest thing about Yeshua, because I asked all the way down, is Yeshua went from 3 all the way up to source. That is a feat not easily done. I can only imagine what it felt like for him riding around on a donkey. Just put that out there. Galactic being riding on a donkey. I'm going crazy down here now. So the amount of patience and love that gentleman must have had for the world, unparalleled. Just letting you know. And by the way, Krishna, Lord Siddhartha, Buddha, all the guys, you know what I'm saying? All the homies. Okay, moving on. So, here we go. 60 Syrian land. You can also have a mantid functionality. Mind you, you guys can have a lot more than this. I'm going to keep it kind of simple for people just waking up to actually know what they're bumping into sometimes. Okay, mantid. Okay, the mantids have a very strong, like, telekinetic but telepathic ability where they could actually be standing right in front of you dimensionally in dream time and just morph into something else or go invisible on you. Okay, just to let you guys know that skill set does exist. Okay. If you guys want to do the cool thing like I do, I morph into the mantid and I do the, yo homie, what up? How's it hanging? Oh, you wanna? Dude, I know, I'm down here too, bro. So, it's not a big deal. You know, people make it a big deal. It's not. Just understand who you are, morph in whatever energy form is needed to interact in a responsible, cordial, diplomatic, and graceful way. Okay. I'm already gone. Woo! Moving on. Mantids are cool. Palladian land. Okay, lowest life form. Okay, check it out. Now, 7D on your light side. Okay. You got some angelics. You could have /Palladian. You could also have some Andromedans, / many other things. Let me express something to you. I have a Palladian in 5. By the way, I'm from the 3rd planet, bottom right in the Pleiades, and my favorite thing to climb is the Pink Mountains. I like long walks on the beach and a pink sky. Moving on. Anyways, getting back to this. You can have a Palladian in 5, 7, and 9, okay? But here's the thing, and I'll explain Ascension a little bit. Well, this is going to turn into like a gnarly thing right now. Am I doing this as like a gnarly situation? I'm about to do this right now? Okay. Moving on. Keep your pens handy, man. Okay, so Angelic, Palladian, Andromedan. Okay, check it out. And then 8D, Anunnaki land. If you guys have the dreams of Egypt, you guys are very familiar with Anunnaki, Nibiru. I didn't like this guy at first. Real clear with you. I learned to love my 8th dimensional self based upon his work ethic, and I guess for a lot of the beings on this planet, this is how this works. Your light side is like a kombucha salesman in Ojai. Yeah, bro, you buy kombucha, you get one for free. We just love you. I love you, man. Your night side is like Wolf of Wall Street. Don't get it twisted. These dudes, all right, they're all like, well, what have you done for me lately, Eddie? Eddie, what have you done for me lately? So what I'm getting to is don't get this twisted. Okay, you're the driver in 3D. Your night side guys, it's a negotiation. If I go and do this for you, if I go fetch this for you, if I go clear this for you, if I help you process your karma, brah, can you go ahead and take my collar off? Most human beings on this planet, I'm gonna drop it like it's hot. Most of your 8D Anunnaki still have a collar around your throat chakra. They control your audio, your audio deal of what you're allowed to listen to. Because here's why. 8D right here. If you're 9D angelic, right? You're Hathor, Nordics, Andromedans, Hathors, Olympians, 9D, or you're high angelic, want to talk to the vessel, they got to broadcast through the collar. And then he or she will go, I don't know if all that information is necessary for my vessel. Then he kicks it down to your 6D, your mind functionality. Yeah, no, I don't know if that's going under the Orion Galactic Protocol for a human being at this point in time. Then it has to go through your 4D version, which is a small child with a Karma credit card. Oh my God, people! 4D! Teenagers with Karma credit cards. That's it. Nothing to write home about. I love it, but you know, how many times did you go to the nightclub? Let's be honest. Okay. Gotta grow up sometime. So, you can only watch Twilight so many times before you're just like, I've already seen this. Alright. Alright, integrate the whole enchilada. Alright, now, so, 4D, lowest night side, 5D, lowest light form. I'm going to repeat things over for you so you guys kind of understand the template, okay? I'm not trying to put it on a circle here. Now, 4D, 5D, 6D, Syrian Land, 7D, hotness. Most of the cool angelics are most of your light side guys, the healers, the powerful healers, okay? Or those like, for example, a John of God level of flavor. Mind you, this is my interpretation when I ask my guides. This is a template my guides use to talk to me so I can understand. Okay, I just want to be clear with you. Everyone may have their own diagnostic program, but I feel this is pretty good for what's going on right now. We're down here. Beautiful. Okay, so high angelic. So like John of God would be like a 9D flavor. By the way, a 9D flavor is galactic, meaning 9D and up. So, for example, John of God, when he heals people, his eyes go blue, his face changes, he actually polymorphs in front of people, his hands get bigger. What is that? His higher selves, or his highest light on the left-hand side, is actually streaming all the way into the vessel. So whenever you have a morph, whenever you have a phase, I can phase from 3 to 8 pretty easily. I've done the 10D one time. You don't want me to do it. But the 7, 9, and 11 is really cool hotness. It's the robes, the slippers. It's classy. Okay, keep it classy out there, San Diego. So, 5, 7, 9, high angelic, 11D. Okay, I want to explain this deity level thing. In this duality game of light and night. Okay, I want to explain this to you. Oh, okay. People, my dragons want to hear Draco Land. Draco Land, 10D. Draco Land. Okay, amazing. When you are a full-fledged Draco, yeah, you're related to a reptile, but is a dragon really related to the guy from Geico? We may have scales, but what is that? Okay, I'm just being honest. By the way, there's some very cool reptilians on this planet, and a lot of those guys here to help. I'm just trying to express for some of my fellow light warriors out there, or some of these different families on Earth, when they actually feel the force of like a drake come through their bloodline and the energy hit you, it does not feel like a little reptilian. Just keep it real. It feels like a force of nature. And here's the thing you have to balance. And this is something I had to learn. Just because there's a force behind the wind, it does not mean that that wind cannot be directed to pollinate the flowers, to move the nanoparticles coming down from the chemtrails. Whatever it is, it's directing a force of nature. The only thing that dictates which polarity it is you behind the wheel. Never get that twisted. Just want to be real with you. Took me 9 years to be able to sit here, pretty much stacked up and balanced, knowing who I am and being able to go, I don't need to know the background story. I understand the force, and then it's my choice on how I use it. Okay? Just want to be real with you guys. Okay? So, let that process for a second. Questions? Yes?
So at what point is polarity introduced then? Below?
Oh, polarity is hot and heavy from 3D all the way up to here. That's what I want to talk about next. Deity level. At 12D and up, all the guys I've met at 12D and up, everyone's kind of chill. And to be honest with you, if you're a 12th dimensional being and you're still locked in duality, like, what are you doing? Right? I'm going to be honest with you. So, deity level is 12D and above. That's where you see like the gods eating the grapes and the berries and floating on clouds and lightning storms. A lot of cool stuff to do. You're really not... In the same way, like a brainwave scale, like deity level is to a human, is what like a human is to an ant. I guess if you want to think about the mental capability, it's almost like, do you guys actually ever like walk around as an ant and see the inside of an anthill and like, oh, the queen's eating this? Like, we don't process like that. So in the same way, no disrespect, love the man tits. What I'm trying to get to is, hey, the deity level functionality, it's like an oversight overview of energy that courses through everything. So you're seeing everything flow or flux, similar to like a DMT flavor. In that space, you're not like, Bobby took my car keys. And you're like, I'm one with the universe and I'm balancing the universe. It's kind of like that. It's not, they're not in the same thing. Like, for example, even in 5D, there's words we use down here that they understand what we're saying, but it's like the vocabulary. Like, for example, I'm speaking English, but when I speak star language, right? So maybe I'll do a little translation for you. Okay, I'll do kind of what I did in English, but I'll do it in star language for some of you guys. Check it out. Yamitishia bonda rakasamba tam te ishba hondish fakatash. Yamba sotonomachia basha bashum fitate dishaba. Hoti. Ya tatakanisha de belmaria terishia ba hundri kishia burish. Fada takindirish. Yatorime vratish yatorimitas yakatandurish. And then I would say, Yombo shias kam fatate. Fandate! Yoborutish yabagosh yendesh atakara nebiviosh. Yantesta unstak. Yashteska unstak. So, anyways, hope that helps. Moving on. So, I get beeps with these guys all the time. Teds. But let me explain why. So, the 144, which everyone talks about, I like to call them the God Squad. Basically, the hope we talk about in the second creation of man, in the time wheel, there was the corn people, okay? I think we're in the third age, closing into the end of the third age into the fourth age. Well, I remember the corn people, or how the Hopi explained it, because there basically was like a genetically superior race that was created that was like the best of everything before they were fighting over stuff. Like almost like if you're a Jedi fan, the best of the old Republic. Like the best old school Jedi ever made. That like one of those dudes could take out half a battalion now. Okay, they stopped making them like that. It's like a classic car that they made perfect. It didn't need to be upgraded or updated. It was amazing when they made it. So these guys though, when you go into their dimension, they're very picky. And I break in sometimes. I'm like, yo, bro, what's up? What are you doing up here? You know you're not supposed to be up here. But the 144, my description of these guys is maybe the 144,000 or the 144 million, let's just call that, on Earth, may be fractals of the God Squad. Okay, I think that's the nicest way to express that to you. We may all have a connection to one of the guys as our higher selves that's in the God Squad or the 144. But I know to be true that to this day, that dimension, like no one can actually even get in there. Like you have to be allowed in. Like I don't care what your tech is. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what galaxy you're from. I don't care how awesome you think you are. These dudes will shut you down. That's how amazing they are. So, I'm not partial. I'm just trying to get up in the club, you know what I mean? Alright, so. How many humans are down here doing it, bro? Let's go. Alright, here we go. Compete with your higher selves on a daily. Now, just kidding. It's teamwork. So, Lyrian Arcturians, the Arcturians, love them. Love generators, love the love. They say the Arcturians are actually, the teachers of the Palladians. These guys have some of the most amazing tech there is. And let's go back to the Andromedans. Love them. If you guys have seen the movie Avatar, Andromedan, okay? Nordics and Angelics I put in the same category. Here's why. Basically, Nordics kind of go back and forth with their energetic projection forms that look like angels. So you could be like, ah, and you think it's an angel, but it's actually a Nordic. Here's the reason why I also like Nordics. Nordics are like Palladians, but they like to fight too. Like, they're not pushovers. Like, if you want to scrap, they're like, I look like a Palladian, but I'll take, we can do this in the parking lot, bro. Nordics, okay? For all my fellow Vikings out there, Nordics. Hathor, cat face, human body, amazing. Miss you. Hathors, again, 90 flavor. Olympians, 90 flavor. That's all Greek mythology, right here. Maybe a handful of these guys in the whole story, okay? The whole story, okay? Moving on. Alpha Centauri is one of the galaxies that if you have access to is one of the coolest places you can ever get to. It's actually even above Andromeda. Like, if you actually have an aspect from Alpha Centauri, it's like high royal. Then again, it could just be like a high level upper dimensional being watching E.T. Real World. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm just kidding. So, Earth Alliance on the left, highest light, Earth Alliance, Larian Empire, highest night, Federation, Orion Empire. This whole template, right? Yang, fire on the right. Yin, love, unconditional love, heart, yin on the left. Here's something you guys have to understand as light warriors. Yang is easy. Yin is one of the hardest things to learn. Okay? Yang is like, I can shoot a machine gun. Yin is like, I'm a brain surgeon and I went to school for 16 years and I can save your life. They're both awesome skill sets. I'm just trying to express from my heart, so far, I get the Yang a lot easier than I get this. And I think for many of us on Earth opening our hearts, this Yin or unconditional love is what we're all here to learn. Not just like specifically, it's for all of us to learn on Earth. Questions? Yes?
Does everyone have this stream, no matter how many...
No, like for example, like these are the dimensional platforms that I'm expressing to you. This is kind of like my stack, but I noticed that a lot of people I interact with are basically, have sessions with, my soul family. This is a pretty all-star stack that most people have. It doesn't mean they have access to actually have conversations with these versions. And what is that? So basically, to keep it simple, in 3D, we're in submarines. Until you go to the surface of this dimension and breach, like put up your telescope, right? You can put your telescope up and then you can interact with your 4D, your 5D, your 6D, your 7D, your 8D as you go up in your awareness. The main thing they're checking on is your vitals. If they give a 3D vessel 6D powers without them integrating their 4D and 5D, you basically can get beings that... You ever have friends that think something bad and something bad happens to somebody? Or like, that's a real thing. Okay, what I'm trying to get to is they don't want to give us back our powers completely until we understand how to manifest properly. Because again, if you put even an amazing being in the wrong situation one time and give them back their power, they go cook them. That's, 100,000, it could be 1,000 years of karma you created like this. Okay? So we don't want to go there. Hence the corn people. And back in the day when the Hopis had those types of people, I remember like full-blown sorcery battles on battlefields where wizards were actually like cooking dudes on a battlefield. That's when we watched like, King Arthur and Merlin's going, yes, Basetta. Like we all feel like, I'm kind of like, that didn't come from nowhere. Avalon is real. That didn't come from nowhere where the little collective goes, oh, I remember that. You don't mess with everyone knows you don't mess with the wizard. You don't mess with the sorcerer. You don't mess with the voodoo witch doctor. Those are just people you don't mess with. And I think that's still to this day inside yourself. You're like, you don't walk up to like, a cobra and go, oh, I'm going to go play with that. No, there's consequences. So what I'm getting to, this type of stuff in that age of humans, that was more real. Manifesting into the ether, using the ether to manifest and then bringing that into 3D is really what you're doing, was real. So, I think they kind of toned that down a little bit. Had a couple floods. Shut that down. Got a little crazy. And then they basically compressed us into these little suits with no powers until we slowly unlocked our powers in our processing to understand why we gave up our powers to come here. Another thing too is, if you spent the last 1,000 incarnations off-world, let's say in the Orion Empire, how do you think you're ever going to get along with a 5D Palladian that wants to give you a hug and a high five? I've got aspects on the night side that didn't even know what a hug was until I hugged their inner child. You have to understand what military program to the highest level actually feels like. It's gnarly. For example, on the Syrians, when I'm up on ship and I got an upgrade, I was a class, basically like a class C to a class B warrior. I got upgraded. I actually went to a different floor on the ship, and I had better food, better commissary, better access to entertainment, even women, everything upgraded. It's not women, but I'm trying to say it's the full package. It's not like oh, you got a new job. It's no, step upstairs and you have access to everything you had, but more of it. And so that's how they kind of reward, okay? And if you're a girl getting upgraded, more men. Hotter men. Trying to be fair down there, okay? Equal is the way to be. Go ahead.
Where's the Akashic record fit in all this?
Okay, I think the Akashic Records is basically the DNA codex of all functions of reality stored that can be accessed and looked at all the way up. I don't think there's a ceiling to the Akashic Records. I think that is something that is just, well, you have to understand, let's just call this a data functionality. One 7-inch Lemurian crystal can store around 7 to 10 teraflops of information. A crystal this big can store 7 teraflops of information. So if you actually start to process that and think inside this planet, how many caverns are full of crystals that are the size, the inner core, a cavern could just be I don't know, crystals the size of Texas. The whole layer is just solid crystals. Think how much data storage we're actually talking about on the living archive, Earth, in the solar system, in this galaxy. We're talking about a level of metadata storage that is incomprehensible to us. Incomprehensible. I think that's good. More questions? Okay.
Where would ghosts or spirits?
Ghosts or spirits, here's 3D me. I would say right. Here we go. Ghost.
Demi Moore and
I would take a 3.5 to a 4. Ghost. The thing is that they don't see a lot of things. For example, even the gnarliest bad dudes. I remember, when I asked them, so if you serve the night, what type of job do you get in 4D? And just to be honest with you, I don't know if it was Genghis Khan level or some of these warriors that you think oh my god, these guys are legit. As far as the 4D world, dude, that dude was like a secretary. He wasn't even he didn't even get, and he was tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. And by the way, Genghis Khan is awesome for many other reasons, but I'm just trying to say, I want you guys to understand that when we start to play in a different dimension, it's an exponential scale, because that might extend into a much greater plane of realities to actually earn a position there. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm not trying to create the hotness in 4D. I want my 4D to get integrated in my 3D, and I want to graduate the whole plunk system into a new reality with my 4D. I do not want to take my 3D and go 5D. Now let's talk about Ascension. Okay, this is something that I want to express to you guys how I was taught, but let me just kind of clarify some things. So I've had many for example, my first Ascension was my 14D went to 16. That was my first Ascension here on Earth. My second Ascension was my 8D going to 10. My 4D currently right now is working on this. My 9D has gone to 11. 15 has gone 17. I am integrated with 4. I'm working on the complete closure of the bottom trifecta here, the bottom triad. And what I really want to do is encompass my 6 and 7. This is the mastery level where I feel I need to be at all times. So I feel that my bottom floor, if I really busted my hump in this incarnation, maybe in 10 years, maybe my bottom floor would be 7D. Because I feel like, you know, they said if I did everything perfect, the potential for me to go, was it 9? This was my potential to go from 3 to 9 in this incarnation, realistically. That's not some kumbaya sources 1. I'm just trying to say that's work ethic, consistency, flipping a planet, helping my brothers and sisters wake up, assisting with the new financial system, assisting with new levels of food, clearing the water, oceans, plastics, animals. I mean, the entire embodiment to get to 9. Because you guys, 9D is like insane. It's you're basically, you're rolling around with like full-blown deity level guys at all times. So that's my goal. And like I said, 5D's graduation. So let's not get away from that. I'm just trying to say I set my bar to here because some of us who actually come from the upper dimensions, which many of you guys are out there who have higher selves that are like, I'm from the angelic realm. Let's go. You know, get up here. We have a little different work schedule or work ethic that we have inside of ourselves. So to understand that and breathe into that instead of resisting it like it's too much to hold or too much to handle, the only difference between me now and say, you know, 6 years ago was that my heart has been on now for about 3.5 years. And truly the integrating of the light and night side within myself while still maintaining control behind the wheel, that's the most, I find for many people, is the most difficult thing to learn because, you know, around you could be like a tornado, but in here, you're the eye of the storm. Emotions are going crazy around you, you're happy, stable, and you always, everything you share is to improve the lives of everyone around you, regardless of what's happening. It's also to have no fear. The building's on fire. Not to run and get a fireman. If you're like, for example, if I call a fireman, that person on that window, right, isn't going to make it. Let's just say it's something like that. You got 30 seconds. You either go grab that person or not go grab the person. Fear is an illusion. And I'm not saying fear isn't real. I like the more like the Will Smith functionality of it. You know, fear reminds you to pay attention and be more focused. But fear is just false evidence appearing real. And I feel that there are many heroes out there on Earth right now. Firemen, firefighters, even policemen that have to do gnarly stuff. Military guys, even doctors, nurses. There's heroes around us 24 hours a day. And my thing is that, you know, just because the mass media doesn't share, you know, unless we're in Canada, we maybe get a little more positive reflection on what society has going on for us down here. But what I'm trying to express is that, like, I really want to see a world where the good in people is reflected 80% of the time, not the high school real world. High school real world of what that is. And for all of these guys at the tippity top, here's my little thing about the Jupiter Guardians. You know, 14 and up. Since we're doing the full enchilada right now, I would say adjustments in 10D and 8D are paramount. And paramount in the function of assisting with integration. Uh, 10D and 8D need help with integrating with the population and transmutation. And to be completely fair to this whole game, there's so much judgment. I'm sorry to do this to you. Here, 9 and 11D on the judgment. And some of this here with the judgment. Let's be completely clear with this functionality here. Certain belief systems are basically developed based upon your interactions in a space, in a sector, in a galaxy, and to understand that we live in like a protected space. Like even when the Maldakians were here and all the moons were basically security guns, like making sure no one came in here and messed with the population. So we kind of have this like buffer or shield around us. You want to call it the Great Protection Grid or the Great Alliance. That wasn't just on Earth and our solar system, but they speak about it in the whole sector. You know, our whole local group have this containment field around it. This is what I want to express to that. There were other places that didn't have that type of protection, that went through some gnarly stuff and saw versions or had things happen to them and their people that this place can't even fathom. So to not judge so harshly why some of these guys are the way they are, but rather see the history of what made them like that and then adjust and find common ground. And I just want to be honest with that, because some of the things I've experienced over here processing my Anunnaki and my Drake and some of the guys, and even my solar guy that has gone up, it's like two different stories. But a lot of these kids, like the Palladians, for example, I don't know if you guys know this, the Palladians and the Dracos are not the same age. I don't know if you guys want to believe the Big Bang Theory. Absolutely not. When I'm with the Draco in some of these court hearings, you know, obviously these guys are being adjusted and their own people are being adjusted as well. But I want to be completely honest with you. This is a completely different age than a Palladian. When you walk into the courtroom, my dude's sitting there and he's having a conversation. Palladians look like little children. They are not the same age. So the people that like, they think like everything's the same age and everything developed. No. I'm sorry, you're wrong. No disrespect. Maybe you're right in your own reality, but what from I've interacted with and negotiated with, you know, these guys right here, the Anunnaki and the Drakes, are on the same level as the Andromedans and the high angelics, right? You're talking about a higher level of content and consciousness. These guys are clashing. It's not so much this kind of stuff down here and more the physical planes, but remember, as above, so below. So I'm just trying to be real. I love my inner child that comes from the Palladians. Wouldn't trade it for anything because it keeps me balanced and structured. It keeps my integrity whole and it makes me happy where I can go to the gym, eat a cookie, and go hiking. And if I didn't have that in my life and I just had the night side, like gnarly stuff, I wouldn't be a happy person and I wouldn't actually be gaining what this place can do for someone, which is truly emotional stability, balancing yourself, knowing thyself, and truly graduating to a higher level of evolution. And that's what I... Go ahead, like I said.
24D reality source programmer?
Yeah, so basically the Lyrians, if you guys want to kind of... How it's explained to me, if we're playing chess in this holographic universe, Lyrians are kind of the game makers. Like they created the board you guys are playing on, okay, on the light side. Now on the night side, they have other functionalities of that, but that was just kind of how it was explained to me. Maybe that's my own codex or codon, but that's how my 24D dude, that's how he kind of explained it to me. He actually showed me the honeycomb of the 24 universes, basically. And he even showed me, like, basically there's a honeycomb. Each honeycomb is a universe, right? Because I asked him, like, show me this whole thing. So there's basically a bunch of honeycombs. Oh, I'll try to do this quickly. Okay. And basically, here is our honeycomb. Universe, whatever. Okay. 1. There was 22 universes. And basically, he took me back to the beginning. I go, show me how this thing started. So it's basically like an unimaginable amount of energy. Can't even put into words. Sending like almost like balls of light into different honeycombs. And that light created those universes. But when I stared at the 22 universes, there was like a whole section of it that was off limits. I'm like, why can't I go over here? And he said, you know, son, in these universes, the beings that were there didn't share the energy with the universe. There are universes where the highest food chain being, or the first guys that came through, they pulled all the energy to themselves instead of spreading it out throughout an entire universe. So there are beings that actually hold that much source juice. But the issue is that it's like a cause and effect. If you create life, and that life create life, and the frequency keeps going up, you like get the maximum benefit of all that creation and data and all those experiences. But some of these beings in other sectors and universes, they just kind of kept that all to themselves. You know what I mean? They were like, we're good. There's 12 of us. Get out of our universe. But there are places like that, and there are universes that are off limits for your own safety. Just to let you know. I have tried to get in there. Okay. I'm like, let me in. It's a Silver Surfer. Come on. So, anyways, I hope this helps a little bit for you guys. Love you. Not sure where to go from this. Opening a wormhole.
I have a question.
Go right ahead.
Where do the Keepers of Time fit in with all of this? Are they programmers?
So time is a perception, right? So remember I said light equals density? So I want to express this. Time is different in 3D than it is in 4D, than it is in 5D, than it is in 6D. So basically, if this is the past, I noticed that in 4D it looks like I'm 60 to 100 years into the future. The cars are different, the clothes are different, everything's a little more modern. In 5D though, it's not so much that, it still looks very fresh and in the future, but it's like fresh future. We took a spiritual path, people are happy, you could party, but it's not so like lower chakra. It's more heart-spaced creation, you know? Like for example, I mean, it's like in Lord of the Rings, it's like the elves. We're living, coexisting with you, but inside our domain and kingdom, animals are sacred. We don't eat meat. You know what I mean? It's like we have our own belief system that protects our forest from the outside world. That would be like a 5D functionality. And then up you go. Does that help? Okay. I think that was a lot of information. And anyways, I love you guys. Sending love and abundance from Sedona. I've got a lot of stuff over here I can show you later. Made all kinds of new gear for you guys and stuff. But again, if you guys ever want a session with me, you guys can book it at store.teamlight.com. But if you guys actually get this done, like this basic template, you know, maybe rewind the video before it's all drawn over. And you guys actually write this down. We can actually copy and paste this. I can go very quickly through your dimensional selves and assist you. I think that's very positive. And was there anything else? You guys are good. All right, you guys. Well, I love you very, very much. Again, this is my interpretation of what my higher selves taught me in this dimensional plane. And I just wanted to let you know that integration is the key, not running away from who you truly are. And my goal for all of you guys is in this one incarnation as a family, as a team, as we help each other, I want this to like equate to like 6 lives of understanding. Some of you guys need to catch up. And some of you guys need to, fulfill things for the future. So I just kind of want to raise the entire bar to assist humanity on Earth. My name is Rion. Absolute pleasure being here with you today. Check out Heart On Radio. New episodes coming in. And I'll see you guys soon, I believe, with Alexander. Peace.